I was born in the year 270 AD in the city of ancient Tarsus, in modern-day Turkey, nearly 6,000 years old now, nestled within the province of Cilicia and the seat of the Roman provincial capital. It was where St. Paul was born, and later, where Mark Antony and Cleopatra first met. My birth name was Daia, and though I would later be known as Maximinus, these early years shaped the man I would become. I come from humble origins, my family being of peasant stock, and our livelihood was tied to the land. We were shepherds, tending to our flocks in the lush valleys and rugged hills of Cilicia. My early life was one of simplicity and hard work, a far cry from the grandeur of imperial Rome. My family was small and close-knit. My father, a stern yet loving man, taught me the value of hard work and resilience. My mother, gentle and nurturing, instilled in me a sense of duty and honor. Despite our modest means, we were rich in stories and traditions, the lifeblood of our heritage. It was through these stories that I first learned of the gods and the legends of our people. One figure who had a profound influence on my early life was my uncle Galerius. Galerius was a man of great ambition and strength, traits that I admired deeply. He had risen from similar humble beginnings to become one of the most powerful men in the empire. His visits to our home were infrequent, but each one was a momentous occasion. I remember vividly the nights we spent by the fire, where he would regale me with tales of the gods and the heroes of old. It was during these times that my pagan beliefs were firmly cemented, influenced deeply by Galerius's fervent devotion to the ancient ways. My education was informal, gleaned from the wisdom of my parents and the stories of my uncle. There were no formal schools or learned tutors in my early years, but I learned the ways of the world through experience and observation. I learned to read and write, skills that would prove invaluable in my later life, and I gained a deep appreciation for the power of knowledge and the importance of tradition. As I grew older, I felt the pull of a greater destiny. The life of a shepherd, though honorable, did not satisfy the ambitions that burned within me. I yearned for more, driven by the tales of glory and power that Galerius shared with me. It was this yearning that led me to leave the pastoral life behind and join the Roman army, the first step on my path to greatness. The army was my crucible, the place where I was forged into the man I would become. I advanced rapidly through the ranks, my strength and determination setting me apart from my peers. I was no longer Daia, the shepherd from Cilicia. I was Maximinus, a soldier of Rome. My rise was swift and unrelenting, a testament to my unyielding will and the influence of my uncle Galerius. By the time I reached the age of 35, I had achieved a position of considerable power and influence. My ascent was not just a result of my martial prowess, but also of my political acumen and my ability to navigate the complex web of Roman imperial politics. It was in this arena that I first tasted the true nature of power, a taste that would drive me to seek even greater heights. Reflecting on these early years, I see the seeds of my future greatness. From the humble fields of Cilicia to the ranks of the Roman army, every step of my journey was a preparation for the destiny that awaited me. The lessons I learned from my family, the stories of the gods and heroes, and the guidance of my uncle Galerius all played a crucial role in shaping the man who would one day ascend to the throne of Rome. My path was set, and the world would soon know the name of Maximinus. It was the year 305 AD, and the winds of change were sweeping through the Roman Empire. Diocletian and Maximian had abdicated, marking a pivotal moment in the empire's history. On May 1st, as the empire transitioned, my destiny came calling. I was proclaimed Caesar by my uncle Galerius, who was one of the two new Augusti. This appointment assigned me the rule of Syria and Egypt, regions rich in history and strategic importance. My rapid rise through the ranks of the military had prepared me well for this new challenge, but I knew that this was just the beginning. The weight of my new title was immense. As Caesar, I was no longer just a soldier, I was a ruler, entrusted with the governance of vast and diverse territories. Syria and Egypt were lands of ancient civilizations, with complex societies and rich cultures. The challenges of governance were manifold, but I embraced them with the same vigor that had characterized my military career. My uncle Galerius remained a pivotal influence during these early years of my reign. His guidance and support were invaluable as I navigated the intricacies of imperial politics. Galerius had always been a mentor to me, and now, as my superior, he continued to shape my approach to leadership. His fervent paganism resonated deeply with me, and together we sought to reinforce the ancient traditions and gods that had been the bedrock of Roman society. The years following my appointment as Caesar were marked by significant accomplishments and growing tensions. I focused on strengthening the military presence in my territories, ensuring that our borders were secure and that our legions were well-equipped and disciplined. I also invested in infrastructure, improving roads and fortifications to facilitate trade and communication. My administration was characterized by efficiency and a relentless pursuit of stability and order. However, my ambition did not go unnoticed. In 308 AD, Galerius elevated Licinius to the rank of Augustus, bypassing me for the position I believed was rightfully mine. This slight fueled a growing resentment within me. I had proven my worth on the battlefield and in governance, and I felt that my contributions were being overlooked. My loyalty to Galerius was tested, but my resolve remained unshaken. It was in the following year, 309 AD, that my troops, recognizing my capabilities and sharing my discontent, proclaimed me Augustus. This was a bold move, a direct challenge to the established order. The title of Augustus was not just a symbol of power, it was a declaration of my intent to be recognized as an equal among the rulers of the empire. Galerius, perhaps reluctantly, eventually acknowledged my claim, solidifying my status. As Augustus, my authority expanded, and so did my responsibilities. I was now one of the supreme rulers of the Roman Empire, tasked with not only defending its borders, but also ensuring its prosperity and unity. My fervent paganism guided my policies, as I sought to revive and reinforce the traditional religious practices that I believed were essential to the empire's identity and strength. The challenge of ruling an empire as vast and diverse as Rome was daunting, but I faced it with determination and confidence. My ascent to the throne was a testament to my abilities and my unyielding ambition. The years ahead would be filled with trials and triumphs, but I was ready to face them all. The name of Maximinus would be etched into the annals of history, a legacy forged through strength, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to the glory of Rome. As the year 310 AD dawned, I, Maximinus, stood as Augustus, one of the paramount rulers of the vast Roman Empire, my image emblazoned on the coin of the realm. Honor me, your emperor. My territories, Syria and Egypt, were bustling with activity and ambition, reflecting the vigor and determination I poured into their governance. I knew that to secure my legacy and strengthen my hold, I needed to assert my authority and vision across my dominions and beyond. One of my primary concerns during my reign was the state of religion in the empire. My devotion to the ancient gods, instilled in me by my uncle Galerius, guided many of my policies. I believed that the strength of Rome was intertwined with the reverence of its traditional deities. The rise of Christianity posed a threat to these traditions, and I took it upon myself to counteract its spread. I intensified the persecution of Christians, viewing them as a destabilizing force within the empire. Despite Galerius's edict of toleration in 310, which sought to end the great persecution, I continued to enforce strict measures against Christians, aiming to revitalize paganism and restore the supremacy of our ancestral gods. In the cities and provinces under my control, I encouraged petitions for the expulsion of Christians. I implemented measures to promote pagan worship, including the construction and renovation of temples, and mandated general sacrifices to the gods. Those who refused to comply faced severe punishments, including mutilation and forced labor in mines and quarries. Though my actions were met with resistance and criticism, I believed they were necessary to preserve the cultural and spiritual fabric of the empire. My reign was not solely defined by religious persecution. I also focused on strengthening the military and fortifying our borders. The legions under my command were well-trained and disciplined, ready to defend the empire against external threats. I oversaw the construction of new fortifications and the improvement of existing ones, ensuring that our defenses were robust and capable of withstanding any assault. Trade routes were secured, and infrastructure projects flourished, enhancing the prosperity and stability of my territories. One of the most significant challenges during my reign was the complex relationship with my fellow Augusti, particularly Licinius. The tensions between us were palpable, driven by mutual distrust and competing ambitions. In 311 AD, following the death of Galerius, I seized the opportunity to expand my influence, occupying Asia Minor and further solidifying my power base. This move, however, escalated the rivalry with Licinius, setting the stage for a confrontation that would test the strength and resolve of both our forces. As the autumn of 312 AD approached, I began to recognize the need for a more conciliatory approach towards Christians. My earlier persecution had not eradicated their presence, and their resilience was evident. I relaxed some of the harsher measures, allowing for a degree of tolerance that had been absent before. This shift was pragmatic, aimed at stabilizing my reign and reducing internal strife. Yet it was clear that my devotion to paganism remained unwavering, and my policies continued to reflect my belief in the supremacy of our ancient gods. The final chapter of my reign was marked by the confrontation with Licinius. In 313 AD, I launched an invasion of his dominions in Thrace, seeking to assert my dominance and expand my control. The Battle of Zurulum was a decisive moment, a clash of titanic forces that would determine the fate of the empire. Despite my strategic preparations and the valor of my troops, I suffered a crushing defeat. The loss was a devastating blow, forcing me to retreat into Asia Minor. As I withdrew to Tarsus, the weight of my failure bore heavily upon me. My dreams of a unified empire under my rule were shattered, and my ambitions lay in ruins. The pressures of leadership, the strains of endless conflict, and the relentless pursuit of power had taken their toll. In my final days, I made one last attempt at reconciliation, granting full toleration to Christians and restoring confiscated church property, hoping to find some measure of peace. Reflecting on my reign, I see a period defined by both strength and controversy, marked by my relentless drive to restore Rome's traditional values and my fierce determination to protect and expand the empire. My time as Augustus was one of great challenges and profound changes, shaping not only the future of Rome, but also the legacy I would leave behind. The year 313 AD began with a foreboding sense of destiny. My defeat at Zurulum had left my ambitions in tatters and my spirit deeply wounded. The retreat to Tarsus was not just a strategic withdrawal, but a retreat into a period of intense reflection and uncertainty. The once unshakable confidence I had in my divine mandate and my ability to rule had been severely undermined by the crushing loss to Licinius. Tarsus, my birthplace, now became the backdrop for the final chapter of my life. The city, with its ancient history and vibrant culture, was a stark contrast to the turmoil within my mind. I sought solace in the familiar surroundings, hoping to find clarity and perhaps redemption. However, the weight of my failures and the precarious state of my health made this a time of deep introspection and regret. In these final months, I found myself plagued by illness. The precise nature of the malady was unclear, but it sapped my strength and left me bedridden for extended periods. Despite my condition, I tried to maintain some semblance of governance, issuing decrees and managing affairs from my chambers. It was during this time that I made the significant decision to grant full toleration to Christians and to restore the property that had been confiscated from their churches. This act was not merely a political maneuver, but a desperate attempt to stabilize my rule and seek forgiveness for the harsh measures I had previously enforced. The reality of my mortality became inescapable. The man who had once been a shepherd in the hills of Cilicia, who had risen through the ranks of the Roman army to become Augustus, now faced the end of his journey. My thoughts often wandered to the stories of the gods and heroes that my uncle Galerius had told me in my youth. These tales of divine power and human frailty seemed more poignant than ever as I contemplated my own place in the grand narrative of the empire. One evening, as I lay in my chambers, my mind drifted to a scene from my childhood. I remembered sitting by the fire with Galerius, listening intently as he recounted the legend of Hercules, a hero who faced immense trials yet remained resolute. Galerius's voice, filled with passion and conviction, echoed in my memory, and I found a measure of comfort in the parallels between the hero's struggles and my own. Despite my flaws and failures, I had strived to be a protector and a leader, and this thought provided a small solace in my final days. As my condition worsened, I became increasingly isolated. The bustling activity of the court continued around me, but I was confined to my quarters, a shadow of my former self. On a fateful day in late summer, surrounded by a few loyal attendants, I breathed my last breath. The news of my death spread swiftly, marking the end of a tumultuous reign. In those final moments, I wondered how history would remember me. Would I be seen as a tyrant who persecuted Christians and sought power at any cost? Or would my efforts to restore the old gods and defend the empire's borders be acknowledged? The legacy I left behind was a complex one, shaped by my relentless pursuit of what I believed to be the true path for Rome. My body was prepared according to the customs of my people, and a simple yet solemn ceremony was held in Tarsus. The city that had witnessed my birth and my final days now became my final resting place. The empire continued to evolve, and the struggles for power persisted, but my chapter had come to an end. As I look back on my life from the afterlife, I understand that my reign was but a brief moment in the vast expanse of history. I was a man of my time, shaped by the beliefs, ambitions, and challenges of my era. My death marked the end of one chapter in the Roman Empire's story, but the echoes of my actions would reverberate through the ages, influencing the course of events long after I was gone. My death in 313 AD left a turbulent legacy, a testament to a reign marked by ambition, strife, and relentless adherence to the old ways. As the years have passed, history has painted my portrait with a mix of light and shadow, reflecting the complexity of my rule and the profound impact I had on the Roman Empire. In the immediate aftermath of my death, the power vacuum I left behind was swiftly filled by my rivals, primarily Licinius and Constantine. The two men, once my peers, now stood as the principal figures in the continuing struggle for control over the empire. My territories, Syria and Egypt, were absorbed into their domains, and the policies I had implemented were rapidly reassessed. The religious persecution I had so fervently pursued began to wane as Constantine's rise to power heralded a new era for the Christians. The Edict of Milan, issued by Constantine and Licinius in 3 and 13 AD, marked a significant turning point. This decree granted full religious tolerance to all, including Christians, and paved the way for the eventual dominance of Christianity within the empire. My earlier attempts to revitalize paganism and suppress the Christian faith were thus ultimately overshadowed by this new religious policy. The shift was profound and irreversible, marking the beginning of a transformation that would see the old gods of Rome fade into the background. Despite this, my fervent efforts to restore and uphold paganism did leave a lasting mark. For many years after my death, pockets of staunch pagan resistance persisted, especially in the eastern provinces. My actions had inspired a generation of pagans to hold fast to their beliefs, and this resistance would continue to influence the religious landscape of the empire for decades to come. In some regions, temples and pagan practices flourished, a testament to my dedication to the ancient traditions. Historians have viewed my reign through a dual lens. On one hand, my persecution of Christians has often been condemned, seen as a brutal and futile effort to halt the tide of a rapidly growing faith. The acts of martyrdom, the forced sacrifices, and the mutilations cast a dark shadow over my legacy. The story of Saint Catherine of Alexandria, who was said to have been martyred during my reign, has become a powerful symbol of Christian endurance and faith. On the other hand, my contributions to the military and administrative strength of the empire cannot be overlooked. My focus on fortifying borders, improving infrastructure, and maintaining a disciplined and effective military force helped secure the stability of my territories during my reign. The roads I built, the fortresses I strengthened, and the policies I enacted to bolster trade and communication left a lasting infrastructure that benefited the empire long after my death. My story is also one of personal resilience and ambition. Rising from a shepherd in Cilicia to the heights of imperial power, my life embodies the potential for greatness within the Roman system. My rapid ascent through the military ranks and my eventual rise to the status of Augustus are a testament to my strength, determination, and political acumen. These qualities have been both admired and critiqued by historians, but they undeniably shaped the course of my life and my impact on the empire. In the grand tapestry of Roman history, I am but one thread, interwoven with the lives and legacies of countless others. Yet my thread is distinct, colored by the fervor of my beliefs and the intensity of my reign. The name Maximinus will forever be associated with a period of religious turmoil, military strength, and unyielding ambition. My legacy is a reminder of the complexities and contradictions that define the lives of those who wield great power. As the centuries have passed, the Roman Empire itself has transformed and eventually fallen, but the echoes of its past rulers, including myself, continue to resonate. My life and reign are studied, debated, and remembered, not just for the controversies and conflicts, but for the indomitable spirit that drove me from the fields of Cilicia to the throne of Rome. In the end, it is this spirit, relentless, ambitious, and deeply human, that remains my enduring legacy. Thank you for watching. Watch my uncle, Emperor Galerius's video next from his point of view, the previous installment of our series known as My Life as a Roman Emperor. Check out the other episodes as well. Our channel, known as the Renaissance Spirit, is dedicated to the pursuits of a just, equitable, and humanitarian world. Video topics encompass areas including history, politics, religion, personal development, society, culture, social and environmental justice, and other topics of liberal arts and sciences, including ancient Rome and the Roman Empire, which is a great comparison and contrast of the modern world. Topics perfect for the true modern polymath. The Renaissance ushered in a golden age and the pursuit of knowledge both lost to time and yet to be discovered. It gave birth to the Enlightenment and the Age of Reason, embracing truth, knowledge, and an understanding and compassion for humanity and our shared history opens up the world to each of us, individually, and improves all of humanity, affording us the opportunity to be better stewards of the earth and to each other. The Renaissance spirit, more than just a philosophy or style, but a style for living, learning, growing, and thinking. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share. If you're looking to explore and experience what life has to offer, I'm sure you'll enjoy the other videos on my channel. Please peruse and let me know in the comments what you get out of them and what other videos you'd like to see. Live the Renaissance spirit.